Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into CNBC-TV18. You're watching Your Stocks with me, Vinny Motiwala. Markets managing to hold on to good gains. Nifty is holding on about the 23,330 levels as of now. 0.5% of gain is what we are seeing for the Nifty 50, comfortably recovered from the day's lowest point. Look at it. At one point of time, it was in the red, and now it's recovered there. Now, we also have some of these big names, especially private banks, that are doing well. So if you pull up the Nifty Bank also, that's an outperformer holding on to gains of almost 2%, and specifically led by Kotak Bank, which is seeing a strong gain. That is among the top contributors that are coming in for the Nifty 50. Other than that, we have ICICI Bank as well as SBI, Bajaj Finance and HDFC Bank among the top contributors for the Nifty 50. So that clearly indicates that this contribution is coming in from the financial service of the private bank side. And we have PSU Bank, Nifty PSU Bank, that is also managing to hold on to very good gains. What's not doing well today is when you look at it, it's the auto side. So Nifty Auto is down, and in that, among the top drags that we have coming in, M&M is not doing well and not managing to hold on to gains. Other than that, TCS as well as ITC in the Nifty 50 that are not managing to hold on to gains. But yes, that's how the market is looking like as of now. But this is a show where we solve all your stock-related queries. And today we are joining in with us Ashish Kyal of Wave Strategy Advisors, as well as Gaurang, Shah, Senior Vice President at Geojit Financial Services, joining in with us. Good afternoon, gentlemen, and thank you so much, as always, for joining in with us. And I'll get started with the first query for today. We have the first query on LTI Mindtree. Now, Suresh is writing to us from New Delhi. He wants to know whether he should invest in LTI Mindtree and wants to know the future prospect of the company. Gaurang, on the fundamentals, what is LTI Mindtree looking like? We've seen a whole host of earnings also coming out for other IT companies as well. So LTI Mindtree, how is that looking?
Well, thank you, Vinny, for having me on the show. Good afternoon to everyone. On the numbers front, there was a slight bit of miss, and we believe that it could be one-off. But if you look at the cumulative YOY performance, then our sense at Geojit is that most of the mid-cap IT companies have done relatively well compared to some of the larger boys over a longer period of time. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 quarters. On the fundamental side, we have a buy and a hold on LTI Mindtree. And the targets that we have set aside is somewhere close to about 3,665, with the caveat that in case if the numbers delivery improve going forward into the fourth quarter and the new financial year, then these targets would get revised accordingly.
Okay. That's the word coming in from Gaurang on LTI Mindtree. On the charts and technicals, Ashish, what is LTI Mindtree looking like? Very muted performance in the last 6 months anyways in terms of a stock move. So now what are you watching out for? Is it a good time to enter this one?
Afternoon to you and all the viewers. Yes, if you look at the stock, I think since many weeks, the stock, or many months rather, the stock has not moved much. It has a very important support which is placed at 5,600, and it has failed to break above the hurdle of 6,100. So it looks like forming a triangle pattern over short term. And I think move above 6,100 is going to gain some, get some momentum on the stock for the rally towards 6,600 levels. So as of now, I would recommend to continue to hold if you have position, or if you want to enter, then at least wait for some time. Let the stock give a positive breakout on the upside, and then we can aim for 6,600 over short term with a support on the downside of the stop loss at 5,700 levels.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there for LTI Mindtree. Let's move on to the next query for today. We have ICICI Bank. This is the stock the viewer wants to know on, and the query is coming in from Meena Sheikh, who's writing to us from New Delhi. 35 shares of ICICI Bank is what she's holding. This is at a price of 1,000 rupees per share. Wants to know whether she should continue to hold this or look to sell. She's making some bit of a profit here. Kotak has reported a good number. Gaurang, what are we watching out for in terms of ICICI Bank? Should the viewer continue to hold this, and could we see that run-up that we're seeing in Kotak today? Something similar expected for ICICI Bank.
Glad that you brought up Kotak, because a lot of people wrote an obituary for Kotak for the second quarter, if you recollect, including IndusInd Bank because of the AMFI exposure. And now look at the turnaround. 3 months down the line, third quarter, you have a 9% plus uptick on Kotak Bank. Now coming to ICICI Bank. Well, we've been maintaining a positive stance on ICICI Bank for a pretty long period of time. She holds 35 shares at 1,000 rupees. If she's having a long-term view, then my request to her would be that please don't be satisfied by just having 35 shares. Even at current levels, if you have investable amount and if time is by your side, that means if you have a long-term time horizon, my advice would be to add on to it, and possibly as and when you have accessible investable amount, you can go on adding to the investment and take it to the higher level. Our targets are 1,450. We are of a strong belief, Vinny, that for banking sector overall, private as well as public sector banks, things are are likely to improve at a much better run rate, and that would translate into better earnings, which would translate into price revision upwards.
Okay, and your view on this, Ashish, ICICI Bank?
The ICICI Bank is standing at a very important support, and I think there has to be a bounce back from around these levels of around 1200 and 1180. So these are the important support levels. I think it's definitely a buy, and one can continue to accumulate at these levels. We are all expecting ICICI Bank to move towards the level of 1340 on the upside. There can be some short-term volatility that can be observed, but overall, the trend for the banking space should eventually move on the upside. And on the downside, this support, very important support, which should not breach for the stock to remain in the positive territory, is around 1160 zone.
Okay, let's move on to the next query for today. LIC Housing Finance, that's the stock that we'll talk about. And Rahul Vardhan, who's writing to us from Noida, 83 shares of LIC Housing Finance is what they are holding. And this is at a price of 585 rupees. So making some bit of a loss here. Wants to know the level for this one, specifically on the technical front and the one-year view on the stock as well. Technicals, Ashish, let me come to you first. For LIC Housing, how is it looking like on the charts and technicals? Does it merit the viewer to hold it for a time period of 12 months now?
See, on the technical front, if you look at LIC Housing, it is very near to the support which was made on the 4th of June election period time. And that support comes around 540, from where the stock is attempting to show a bounce back on the upside. So I would suggest continue to hold on here. 540 is a very important support. Use that as a stop loss. And we can expect the stock to go towards the level of 660 or 670 on the upside over near term. So continue to hold on is my recommendation. But at the same time, maintain a strict stop loss, because if it breaks that election day low, then there can be some selling pressure intensifying here.
Okay, and Gaurang, your view on LIC Housing Finance, the viewer has a time period of 1 year is what they want to hold on for now. So specifically for this 12-month period, anything exciting, or should the viewer just get out of the stock now?
I don't think so, Vinny. I think you need to give time to your investment in stock market, and you should not tie down a particular time horizon. Now, in case if the time horizon can be extended from 1 year to maybe a little bit more, we have a target of 750. Yes, the stock has not done much in the last 1 year, but things are looking a little bit more positive in terms of the budget announcement for real estate sector and the performance of real estate sector. More importantly, Vinny, we believe that interest rate cuts in India could be around the corner if we have the data points on the positive side as far as inflation is concerned, which is the biggest worry for the MPC as well as the RBI governor. But things are looking a little bit positive over there. So give it a little bit of more time. 750 could be the target.
Little bit more time than just here is what Gaurang is saying. Wait for it. 750 is the target that he's highlighted as well. But on that note, we're going to slip into a short break, and here's some good news for our viewers. India's business news leader is now a click away, introducing CNBC TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth articles, and financial world updates at your fingertips. Download the CNBC TV18 app now from Apple Store as well as Google Play Store, or just scan the QR code on your screen. Welcome back, and you're tuned into your stocks on CNBC TV18. We still have our experts with us, Ashish Kyal as well as Gaurang. We're here to solve all those stock doubts. Let's move on and keep it going with the queries then. We have Deepak Shetty, who's writing to us from New Delhi. He's holding 500 shares of PCBL. This is at a price of 390 rupees per share, making some bit of a loss here. And other than that, he's also holding TD Power. This is at a price of 410. So in this also, he's making some bit of a loss here. Now wants to know whether you should continue to hold this or maybe look to average out on this front. Ashish, your word on both these stocks, PCBL as well as TD Power.
See, if you look at PCBL, right now the stock I think is trading around 360 odd levels, and we have seen some selling pressure from the highs of 480, and the stock has come down to 360. We can clearly see the stock has made a lower high, lower low formation very clearly. The fall has been with higher volumes. So there is no sign of reversal as of now. I would recommend from these levels, it's better to be out because we are not seeing any kind of a positive reversal, and the overall weekly trend has also turned on the downside. So the recommendation will be out from PCBL as of now. And as far as CG Power is concerned, the stock has shown a very smart recovery from the lows of 600, now around 676 levels, and it has managed to give a close above that 10 days average. So there is a possibility we might start seeing some short-term positive movement on the upside. The target will be around 76.
TD Power.
Okay.
TD.
TD Power. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a second. I was looking at CG Power. So
Yeah.
the TD Power is quoting around 406, and the stock is moving in the form of spike. So my recommendation will be to be out of this stock. The volumes have been erratic. There is no systematic movement that we are seeing here, and the stock has collapsed from 460 to the low of 380. And showing an upside flag kind of a pattern, which is a bearish pattern. So recommendation will be better to be out from TD Power Systems.
Okay. Better to be out from TD Power Systems as well. Gaurang, your view on both these stocks, if they have a long-term view, does it make sense to hold both of them, maybe look to average out, or you would also say get out of these stocks?
Vinny, look, you can get stuck with investments in stock market. There's nothing wrong about it. But what kind of remedial steps you take in an appropriate time, that's going to be very, very important. And what strategies you put in place. Now, on PCBL and TD Power Systems, we don't have a specific coverage. So I won't give a direct buy, sell and hold. But just in case if the investor is also is open to the alternative investment ideas, then my first preference would be Zomato, which has corrected and is now showing sign of revival. We have a positive coverage over there. And the second stock that I would possibly recommend is KEC International, which is the mid-cap cap goods engineering stock in place of TD Power. This is all subject to the investor being open to an alternative investment idea.
Okay. That was a query coming in on PCBL and TD Power. But yes, we're going to move on and a quick look at the markets. They're managing to hold on to gains of 23,300 levels. Banking side specifically holding on to gains